Hello guys, and thank you for tuning into today's video. As you may have guessed, today's video is going to discuss when you could be eating McDonald's and still working towards your fitness or health goals. So without further ado, I'm going to start off with two different meals that I could be having at this point in time. So meal number one, we've got 2 eggs, 6 egg whites, 3.5 ounces of chicken, half an avocado, half of a baked sweet potato. A shout out to Endless Wellness. Follow up links on the video description for inspiring the first meal. I kind of tweaked one of her recipes to accommodate for my own goals. Meal number two, we got 2 glorious junior chickens. So why am I showing you these two meals? If you just look at them in plain sight, 780 calories, 760 calories. If you're trying to diet and you don't know anything else except calories, then you're probably thinking meal number 2 is your best bet. I'm going to talk about some of the differences and why there's more to it than just the calories. So let's talk about the macronutrients: proteins, fats, and carbs. So we'll start with protein and why I think it's important. Just for starters, meal number one's got 71 grams of protein, 34.5 grams of fat, and 43.26 grams of carbs. Meal number two, 40 grams of fat, 72 grams of carbs, and 26 grams of protein. So why is protein important? Well, protein is important to build muscle. If you're trying to put on muscle, you need to consume protein. If you're losing weight or if you're trying to lose weight, your body might actually use, because it's in a caloric deficit and lacks energy, it might actually try to use protein to get that energy. So you need to replenish it and give it an excess supply so that it can still maintain or build muscle while you're in that phase. Some research shows that if you're trying to lose weight and you're consuming less than 1.05 grams per kilogram of protein, then you're actually going to be losing muscle more than fat. And research in trained individuals shows that you can consume 3.1 grams per kilogram of protein while being in a state of fat loss and put on muscle at the same time. And so those are some of the protein benefits. Additionally, it takes more energy to digest protein. So it actually takes energy to digest your food, and protein takes 15 to 30% more. So just consuming more protein as part of your calories in the day will actually make you burn more energy. Okay, now fat. Why is fat important? So fat should compose 20 to 30% of your daily calories. It's important for hormone function. So I'm going to give you an example of testosterone, which is a hormone that's required to build muscle. If you don't get enough fat, since fat forms testosterone, you're not going to be optimally putting on muscle. And you need it for optimal hormone function, for females especially. So if you're a female, you definitely need to be getting your fat intake. Now, as for carbs, carbs are important as a source of energy. So your brain requires glucose, which is a carbohydrate, for energy. Your muscles require glucose, which is stored in the form of glycogen, for energy as well. So unless you're in ketosis, you need those carbs for the energy to optimally function. If you're in ketosis, your body's actually using fat instead of the carbs, so you're okay. But then if you're not in ketosis, you might be experiencing lightheadedness or dizziness or just fatigue in general if you're not consuming those carbohydrates, because that's what runs your body essentially. Okay, now micronutrients, a more superior ratio in the first meal because there's more vegetables, of course, and less processed foods. But micronutrients are also important for general function. So fiber, for example, if you don't get enough fiber, you won't be using the washroom as regularly, so you won't lose as much weight. And let's take the example of iron. Iron is important to form hemoglobin, which is part of your red blood cells, and it carries oxygen around your body. Less oxygen to your brain, less oxygen to your muscle, less function up here, less function down here, less results overall. And so meal number one is superior in terms of protein and micronutrients, and it's almost the same in terms of fat. It's got less carbs, but to be fair, meal number two's got too many carbs for one meal anyway. Now, before we go any further, is one meal more superior than the other? Well, the answer is it depends on your goals. So for me personally, the situation where I'd eat the junior chickens would be, let's say I'm at the end of the day, I've got lots of calories that I still need to consume, and I've already consumed my protein and micronutrients for the day. Then I might just go with that meal just to get my calories up to the level that I desire. Because actually, if you undereat, your metabolism will slow down over time, which it will if you're dieting anyway, but you'll speed up that process if you undereat constantly. And so your diet will be less effective more quickly, if you will, because diets generally get less effective in the long run. And so additionally, if If I'm trying to put on muscle and I need to be in a caloric surplus, then I might consume that for the additional calories, the junior chickens I mean. Or if I have a small appetite and I'm not necessarily concerned about being hungry for the rest of the day, maybe then I'll eat the junior chickens as well. If I'm an elite endurance athlete, or if I'm just an elite athlete, that meal might not even put a dent in my calories, okay? That could still apply there as well. Now, situations where I'd go with meal number 1, if I'm super hungry in the morning, and I don't know what the day is going to look like and how hungry I'm going to be later, it's a higher volume meal. It makes more sense for me. I could actually split it into 2 meals, and I used to do that, but for convenience, I just do it as 1 meal now. If I want to cut and trying to lose weight, obviously that meal's got more volume with the same amount of calories, so I'm going to be more full with that meal. Makes more sense in that situation too. If I'm going out later in the day and I don't know what my food's going to look like or what food options will be available, and I want to still hit my protein, micronutrient goals, I might still go with that meal. Okay, so it's more than just calories when it comes to weight loss or weight gain. You got to look deeper, and there's not necessarily a black and white answer for whether you should eat meal number 1 or 2. It depends on your situation and your goals. Just know that no single food group is evil, and they're all important and they all serve a purpose. Unless you're doing a very specific diet, please try to incorporate them all as mentioned. And if you're going to make any drastic changes to your diet, obviously consult your physician or consult a healthcare provider that is knowledgeable in the area, who's able to consult on your specific case. And that ends off today's video. If you have any questions, leave them below. If you have any ideas for videos that you'd like me to talk about or share, put them below. And like and share if you enjoyed the video, of course. And if you want access to the research that I'm pulling information from, also let me know. But with that being said, I've got some junior chickens that I really should be eating right now, so I'm gonna go take care of those. All right, thank you for watching. Peace.